Sis, welcome. It is Miss Kate here, and I am glad you are back for an art date with Miss Kate. Before I get chatting, make sure you check below. There's always the description, and it will tell you what materials you need and maybe some other fun stuff. There's also ways to contact me if you want to share your artwork, because I love seeing your artwork. So what are we doing? We've been doing books so far this week. The last couple ones we've talked about fairy tales. Today we're going to dive into fantasy. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the difference between fantasy and fairy tales. And then we'll take one characteristic of fantasy and we'll make our artwork based on that. So, what is a fantasy story? Good question. Well, fantasy is a genre. Oh, Miss Kate, here you go. What's a genre? I'm going to tell you. So a genre is a way that we describe a group of books or a group of music that all have a similar style. For example, we have country music, and it all sounds sort of similar. Different beats sometimes, different highs and lows, but it's all country. We hear it and we're like, oh, that's a country song. Or we might hear pop music and we're like, oh, that's definitely pop music. It's a genre. Well, books are like that too. We have fantasy, which is all sorts of magic and mystics and make-believe. We have horror, that's another genre, and it's kind of scary and we're not sure what's going to happen. We have nonfiction, and that's true stories about people, about life. So fantasy is a genre. We've been doing fairy tales. Fairy tales are a part of fantasies. They're one little section of it, a very specific section. To be a fairy tale, we had said that it had characteristics that it had once upon a time, and they lived happily ever after, as well as it took place far, far away. Well, with fantasy, we're going to make our description a little bigger now. Something that fairy tales don't have is an imaginary world. We know they're far, far away, and they usually have trees and plants, and they live in buildings and castles and houses, and everything's human-like still. We might have talking creatures, but besides that, it's pretty normal. We could say, oh, that could exist. Fantasy, no way. These are imaginary worlds. They don't exist here on Earth. For example, Chronicles of Narnia. You have to hop through a doorway to get into this imaginary world filled with mystic and surprises, and you don't know what's around the corner. Or Harry Potter, that's another fantasy style of book, and it takes place at Hogwarts. That doesn't exist here on Earth. So fantasies are complete worlds that are not here on Earth. Another thing with fantasies is that everyone knows a secret language or a special language. They might speak Klingon, or they might speak gibberish, but everyone knows it. It's kind of like we missed the party or something. We didn't get the memo, but they don't have to tell us that they had to learn it. It's just kind of from the beginning, everyone speaks it. So that's another thing about fantasy. Again, it's this imaginary world. They have their own language. They also might have magic spells. And it's not just like one person has it. For example, in fairy tales, usually it's like one person. It might be a wizard. It might be a wicked witch. It might be some fairies. They're the ones with the magic. Only one or two people. In a fantasy, everyone can have it. It might be some people have more of it, or some people have different ways of using it, but it's available just like you're kind of born with it. So those are some differences between fantasy and fairy tale, as well as kind of just what is fantasy. So I think what we'll do today is we'll take this idea of magic, and that we all kind of can create magic through art, through writing. Because if we think about it, it's kind of like creating this new language in people's heads. They see a picture and their mind creates the rest of it. So what if we do an artwork with magic potions in it and do some magic spells? What do you think? Yeah, I think so too. I'm really excited for this. So let's do white paper, pencil, whatever you like to color with, crayons, markers, watercolors, oil pastels. And I'm gonna get my table ready, and I will catch you in 2 snaps of a finger click. Okie doke, my artists, here we go. We are going to be making a room that has our magic potions and our spells and all sorts of other wonderful stuff in it. We're gonna draw together, and I'll give you some ideas on what we can put inside. I'm also gonna show you, I'll do a little speed clip, how to make paper look like it came out of your spell book. Woo! So that'll be a little clip in between when I flip the screen back around. But for now, let's get to this. We're gonna add in that candle that's making it look like nighttime, and we're gonna have our quill pen that dips into our little vial of dragon's blood red so we can write. Are you ready? Okay, grab your paper, get a pencil. I've got my marker. Remember, if you use marker, once you put it down, it is there to stay. So I recommend pencil. Oops, God, that made some noise. All right, so let's go ahead. We're gonna start with a couple bottles. And let me show you this. This is an example of some different ones I came up with. We have just a really kind of basic one that's a little bit tall and long. Here's this one that's got like a bottom that's big and then the top is thin. This one's kind of like a heart shape and flat. I'll leave this up a little bit so hopefully it'll fit all in my paper here so you can see them. Or you know what, we'll put it to the side. There we go. I was running out of room. And I'm gonna draw a couple with you. If you see a shape you like better than the one I'm drawing, just swap it out. Let's all start together with one and then we'll move on. So how about this very first one? We'll all do together. Anywhere on your paper that you feel comfortable putting it, don't put it too high though. We wanna make it on the table down here. You're gonna draw 2 diagonal lines that kind of go down. Remember, diagonal look like they're about to fall over. And then you're just gonna do a little bit of a curve and connect them. Pretty simple so far, right? We're gonna go ahead and put a really smushed oval on the top of that jar. And we wanna make sure whatever's inside doesn't escape. So we're gonna put 2 little lines and then a straight horizontal. That's kind of like the cork, the stopper. How you doing so far? Good? All right. Now let's go ahead and add another one. Not right next to it. We're gonna move it over a little, or if you want it on this side, but another one that's kind of in the same position. I'm gonna go with this bottle. If you wanna do it along with me, you can. If you wanna choose a different one, that's fine too. So the top is 2 vertical lines that are parallel. They don't meet, they run right next to each other. You got it? Okay, now we'll add the bottom. It's a C on this side, and then a backward C on this side, and then they just connect. Looking good so far. We'll do a horizontal line to do the top of the bottle, and some little cork to put in. Now your corks can look different than mine. Maybe yours is gonna have some kind of like little connector thing coming off the top that like you can pull it up with, something to pinch. Now we're gonna do another layer, but they're gonna be a little bit behind these, so that these ones are closer to us. They're in the front of the picture. So let's put one between these 2. I'm thinking I want something bigger. These are kind of small. So how about this big one? It looks like a flask. I'm gonna do a little straight line between these 2. It'll be the bottom. And part of it is gonna get covered up. It's gonna be behind these. So I won't have to draw all of it. I'm gonna put, this will be like the top edge here. And that one you're still not gonna really see. Then I'll go ahead and put a backward C that's like scooped out. And this will be like a forward C that's scooped out. Pretty good so far? Okay, remember, if you need to pause it, go right ahead and pause the video. We'll all be here waiting for you when you push play. We'll close it up with a lid and some kind of stopper on this one too. How about now we'll put in a candle. I really like the idea of a candle. It adds a neat little touch. So if you have an area, maybe to this side or to the other side, right, or left side, that's where we'll put our candle in, okay? I'm gonna keep mine on this side. We're gonna do 2 vertical lines, and the bottom is gonna have a little scoop. Got it? Okay. Now, to add the part where it looks like the candle is melting, I don't really know how to give this a good description, so I would say watch and see if you can follow after. You're gonna go on the edge and make a little drip. Did you see that? It's kind of like a backwards J. Then it's a diagonal line up. And the last step is to go back down, and it kind of gets wiggly. Drips down, and then here, and connects. And then this little line we gotta just bring right back up to the top. Pretty good so far? Okay. We'll put a little line for the wick. That's the part we light, and then we'll put a little candle flame. Now we can't have it floating in the air. Well, I guess we could. This is a fantasy world, so we probably could just have it levitating and floating. I'm gonna stick it on an actual candle holder because I don't want it to fall over and catch fire. So let's go ahead and we'll extend the bottom of that candle out a little bit on each side. We'll do a tiny line down or vertical on each side. And then we'll connect them back together. Doop. Now, your candle holder could be really skinny, just like the candle is. It could be larger, it could be curved. It could look like any of these shapes, actually, that would just have the candle coming off the top. So you choose what you like. You can follow me as well, but if you have an idea in your head, that's perfectly fine too. I'm gonna give this one a little bit of a curve in and then out. Curve in, and then, oops, it's gonna hit that flask. So that means I don't keep going, I stop, because the flask is closest to it. So the other one is further away. And then I'm just gonna put a little base. Are you doing okay? Awesome. We are doing a lot of drawing today. So if you get tired, stop, or you can even stop here and say, I'm good. I'm gonna do a couple more things. If you wanna add these, you can. If not, just take a breather. Let's add a plant, because I always feel like there's a plant in someone's magic potions and stuff. So let's do 2 horizontal lines. This will be the plant pot, and 1 little vertical one up and down. We'll do a diagonal line going down. This will be the edge of the pot, and then just 1 little curved line back in. And that's it. Let's go ahead, we'll put our line that makes it look like it's all on a table. This is our horizon line. It's a horizontal line. It's way behind everything, so you don't even see it here. You see a little bit, boop, right there, and the rest goes do here. Now, fill in this plant. It can be as crazy as you want. It could be a Venus flytrap. It could be totally dead. It could have claws. You decide. I'm gonna make some pointy leaves. I'm gonna have some weird spirally fern things. Maybe some dead stuff too. When I color, I might make some of it brown and some of it green. Here's another little sprig, okay? And we gotta put in that quill pen. These are fun. So way long time ago, They didn't have pens like we have. They used to take bird feathers and dip it in ink and use the point of the bird feather to write. So we can add one down here. I'm gonna put 2 lines that kind of go next to each other. We would call these parallel, and they're gonna meet at the top. You got it? Okay. And then the rest of it are just these lines that come out because that represents the feathers. Okay. I'm not going to do a whole bunch because let me show you my original one. I went back in with color too to make it look like it wasn't just a black and white feather. It had some colors on it. And we're going to dip it into a little pot. I'm going to make a little pot of dragon's blood. So it's another little jar. I'm going to do a forward C, a backward C, connect them, and then just give it a little stopper. That'll be my ink well. All right, I think we're about done. If you want, you can add in your spell paper up on the top here. That is just like a crazy line design. So take a peek. If you want to leave it as is, totally fine. I'm going to put a circle. That's the nail that's holding it into the wall. Then I do a wiggly line out. I do kind of like one that's wiggly and ripped, so that way it looks like the paper was torn. Same on this side. And then I just connect it. That's it. Super simple. Don't have to worry about it. It's not a super challenging thing. It can look as weird and wild and crazy as you want. All right, time for the fun stuff. What are we gonna put in these bottles? So you could put dragons, this is my dragon's blood inkwell, but you could put dragon eyes or toad breath or butterfly wings. I'm gonna put in one some eyeballs. So this one's gonna get some big old eyeballs inside of it. And then they're gonna be floating in some water, like colored water. So for now, I'm just drawing the eyeballs. Okay. And what else could we put? How about some dragon toenails? Ew, that's gonna be disgusting. There we go, there's a few. Oh, gross. Ugh, ew. I hope I wasn't the one who had to go get these. I'm gonna also put a little tag so I know what these are. I'm gonna write on there with my smaller pen. Oops. Dragon toenails. Ew. Okay, this one, I think that reminds me of air. This is gonna be breath. Someone's breath, like toad breath or hamster breath or something. Ugh, it's just gross. Yeah, oh, that's gonna make some magic spells. Okay, so now it is up to you guys to add the color. You can do bright colors, you can do light colors, they could all be dark and eerie. What I'll do is I will post this on the pause screen so you can see it. I'll color this one in as well, so you'll get double for ideas. But I quickly want to show you a little clip on how to make your very own spell paper. So I'm going to put the little spell paper clip up, and then it will be the pause screen, and then I'll flip it around and you get to see me, and we will say toodaloo, adios, catch you later. All right, here we go.
One moment, please. Mom is getting her supplies. Meow.
All right, so this is how we make our magic, our spell paper. What you need is either do this over the sink. I do them in these little tins because then I can easily move it around. Some warmish water, not too hot, because I don't want you to burn your little fingers, but a tea bag. If you don't have tea bags and your parents drink coffee, coffee works well with this too. I don't drink coffee, so we're using tea. Right now, what you'll do, or first, put your tea bag in the water and just let it get in there and soak up some of that good water juice for a minute. While that's sitting there, you take a plain sheet of white paper and you write your spell on it, or your cover of your book, or mine said Book of Spells. So I'll put, let's see, Miss Kate's and you can do it with fun letters, you can do really silly writing, however you feel. I'm going to do this a little bit fast so we have time. Miss Kate's Magic. Okay, you can add in all the details, some extra little drawings on the sides. Then, this is where you don't want to make too much of a mess. You go ahead and you crumple it up. I know, right? Crumple it up. Oh, I would never let my kiddos in class crumple up paper because it's always, you never know when a good work of art is in that paper crumple, but this time it works. And you're gonna stick it into your little tin. By this point, your bag of tea or coffee grounds are probably good. You're gonna squirt it on there. You have to drip it up again. And you're gonna squirt it on. And then I crumple it up and I get it all mushed up inside there. You'll feel it squirt. Now your paper might tear because once we add water to paper, it gets real soft and mushy. So at that point, you want to be very gentle. But you know, a torn spell paper would actually be okay. I got a couple rips in mine, but I like it like that. Then what I do is I take one more good squirting of this. And this is the part where you want to let it rest after. So I'm going to just put some puddles on here. And where the puddles are will make darker areas on my paper as it dries. So now just like this, what I will do, and you guys won't see, but I'm gonna go put this outside in the sun for maybe about an hour. It shouldn't take much more than that, depending how much water you put in there. And when you come back out to get it, what will happen is the water will have dried, your paper will go back to normal, and now you've got your spell sheet. So I hope you had fun. I hope you can get it done. And if you do, definitely show me. This is something really simple and really easy, but ends up turning out to something really cool. You could even use it for school projects down the line if you have to do a book report or something. So with that, I'm ready to say, let me flip you around, and here we go. All right, artists, very good job today. That was a lot of fun, especially thinking about what we could put into those magic potion jars. I still have some more ideas. I think I'm probably gonna do a second one just because I have so many ideas tinkling in my head. So go ahead and finish up. Do whatever it takes, take whatever time you need to get everything finished. Send me pictures. I love seeing what you guys do. If you make the spell paper, show me pictures, write some spells on it. That would be a lot of fun. It's super simple. Just don't make too much of a mess. And yeah, so tomorrow we will be doing one last project for Books Week, and we'll be doing something with some magic wishes. So I'm very excited for this one. And yeah, enjoy, get some fresh air, be kind, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Bye.